Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Today I will be doing readings for those that have sun, moon, rising in Pisces, any inner planets in Pisces. I suggest that you look up your birth chart, see what signs you have in that birth chart, and look up those videos to those signs in my channel if this reading doesn't resonate with you. Please keep in mind that this is a general collective reading, so it is not going to resonate with everyone. Please take what does resonate and leave the rest. I will be doing shadow work readings today. Shadow work readings are readings to help you see lessons, feelings that you've been holding on to, not letting you grow, holding you back, keeping you stuck in the same pattern, or attracting the same type of people. I will be starting your reading with astrology dice. The first dice is Pisces, so your energy is definitely here. The Sun and 9th house. So let's talk a little bit about Pisces. Currently right now, Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. It's retrograde. It started on June 17th, but let me say that every retrograde has a pre-shadow period and an after shadow period. So the shadow period started before June 17th, so you probably felt the retrograde before that. And it's going to be retrograde until November 14th, but the shadow period is going to stay until February 7th, 2024. And the reason why there's so many months of shadow period is because Saturn is a very slow moving planet. It's an outer planet. It takes about, I believe, 7 years to make its round back to like around the whole zodiac signs. It's gonna be in retrograde from 0 to 7 degrees. So if you have any mutable placements, which is Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, or Virgo, in 0 to 7 degrees, you will be feeling this Saturn retrograde a little bit more than other people. And I do want to say that Neptune is also in Pisces, and it's also retrograde from June 30th until December 6th, but it will stay in the shadow period for about 3 months until March 25th of 2024. And this retrograde is happening in 24 to 27 degrees. So if you have any mutable placements, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo, from 24, 27, or 0 to 7 degrees, you will be feeling Neptune and Saturn energy a little bit more. Now, for some of you that are Pisces Sun, this means that you are going through your Saturn return this year. And it means for some of you that are Saturn, that are Pisces Sun, I would suggest that you look up your Saturn to see if it's in Pisces and to look up the degrees that it's in to know if you're going to have your return this year. If you need help with that, please comment your birthday below in the comments. I will be more than glad to look up that information for you. So with Saturn and Neptune being in Pisces, I feel that a lot of you are reconnecting back with yourselves. A lot of you are making certain decisions to, I guess, like find your destiny or find out who you really are. A lot of you are being tested. A lot of you are going through some like actual, I guess, like you're going through some trials of where you're being tested to see how you're going to get to the next level. So this might mean higher education. This might mean travel. This might mean your philosophical views on things might be changing. And I feel that this journey that you are taking, whether it be with school, with how you look at the world, with traveling, I feel that it's really going to lead you back to like find out who you are, because some of you are stuck in this identity that has been passed down to you from your childhood. And what I mean by this is there are some of you that went through some trauma when you were children, and your identity was formed from this trauma. And I feel that there's a lot of things that are happening to lead you away from that identity and to really get you to see yourself in a new light and really get you to see who you are and how to grow better into your higher self. The sun is also ruled by Leo, so some of you might be dealing with a Leo or a fire sign, which is Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio, which is the water fire sign. Can I have a card for Pisces, please? Can I just have one card for Pisces, please? Well, it's 2 cards. Can I just have one card for Pisces, please? Thank you. So we have King of Wands, fire energy, and 2 of Pentacles. So some of you could have been dealing with a fire sign, which would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Fire energy is here. And because the 2 of Pentacles is here, I do want to say that some of you could have been dealing with a fire sign that was juggling you and another person. And this separation has led you to find a higher version of yourself, has led you to form some healing, to really find out who you are, because your identity for some of you was wrapped up in this relationship or in this connection or just in connections in general. Especially if you have your sun or any inner planets in 7th house or Libra placements. This could really apply to you, of making the identity of the relationship your identity. For some of you, this could be towards a family member that's a fire sign. You made your family at your identity, and your family wasn't making you a priority or wasn't valuing you how you were making them a priority. This could be towards your kids, this could be towards your spouse, this could be towards your parents. Can I have a card for the sun, please? I also feel like for some of you, there are great opportunities coming about with the King of Wands here. That there's an opportunity that wants to grow, but you need to let go of the past and the past traumas and past habits that you do have to welcome in this new opportunity, because the universe can't bless you with nothing new if you keep holding on to old beliefs, old stuff. And the reason why is because, yes, you do get blessed with new things, and you probably get blessed with new opportunities, but they don't stay, and that's what I mean. That it wants to bless you with something that will stay forever, but you really need to change of how you think about yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you see yourself. For the sun, we have 5 of Cups. So 5 of Cups is a very interesting card, and I think that it's pretty cool because at the bottom of the deck you have 9 of Cups, and right underneath that you have 2 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. These are like super happy cards. You have to start. So these are very happy cards, but because 5 of Cups is here, I feel that for some of you, so 5 of Cups is, in the traditional tarot sense, it has a man with, I believe that there's 3 cups or 2 cups behind him that are full, but he's staring at the cups that are tipped over on the ground. And I feel that for some of you, this really explains your identity for some of you, because you do fit that stereotype Pisces energy of just being gloomy and just being all up in your feelings. And for those that do have a lot of Pisces, that you're a Pisces sun, please know I don't mean to talk crap on you if that is how you are. Please know that I do believe that having a sun sign in Pisces is one of the hardest sun signs, because you have everybody else's energy. You have Aries through Aquarius energy inside of you, and you could relate to a lot of energy, especially if you're a Pisces sun. But that being said, you could also relate to a lot of negative energy and a lot of negative emotions. Pisces in zodiac, it does have 2 fishes, and I do believe that just like Gemini has 2 twins, those 2 fishes are the 2 sides of the emotions that you could see. And I feel that for some of you, like I said, because of your past trauma, because of the way that you were raised, you were probably taught very negative too. You probably didn't see an optimistic side from your parents. Your parents probably didn't speak to you in a very loving way. any of those reasons, even more that I didn't mention, but I feel that that example leads you to not being optimistic in your life. And the crazy thing is that by you not being optimistic and by you not looking at the positive side of things, some of you that are doing that, you're actually attracting more negative experiences into your life by focusing on the negative experiences that you've had. That's why it's important to let go. And for some of you, forgiveness is going to be something huge here. There is an episode on Netflix from Midnight Gospel. It's about, I remember that her name was Trudy, but that episode is about forgiveness, and it talks about how forgiveness is tricky, and it really explains how forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. And the forgiveness is so that you could move on and you could love again, because you're holding on to negative emotions. If you see, this looks like chains. If they're keeping you down and they're keeping you stuck in the same position. And in order for you to move on, to this happiness that some of you really want within yourselves, you really need to let go of those negative beliefs. And for some of you, those negative beliefs were passed down to you and you believe them about yourself. So let's say that when you were little, your parents or your siblings or somebody probably told you, oh, you're so annoying, you talk a lot. You took that to heart and you really made sure that you don't talk a lot so people don't ever say that to you. And I feel that for some of you, that's where you operate from and that's where you're coming from. And you have a lot of pain and a lot of forgiveness that you need to show to yourself. Because 5 of Cups is a hard card, but it's also a beautiful card, because as soon as you turn around, you see that there's more cups full of water and you haven't lost anything. And for some of you, turning around is literally just changing your perspective. If you change your perspective, you could change your life, change the way you look at things. I remember recently I was at a rooftop with a friend and we were talking about this, of how we're at a rooftop looking down on the street. And when we were walking to the rooftop, it's completely different than when you're looking down. So some of you are stuck looking at things in the street and you're stuck having that one-eyed view. Have a bird's eye view. Yeah, this could be happening right now. This looks bad, but see what's coming forward. We could never guess or see what God, the universe, is going to bring to us. But if we keep in this negative pattern, that's a way of communicating to the universe and letting them know that we want to stay here. So change the way that you look at things, change the way that you react to things, change how negative you are, especially when you talk to yourself in your head, for some of you. Now a card for the 9th house, please. And I do want to say that I do believe that some of you were dealing with a mutable sign, especially a fire sign, probably. Sag would be the mutable fire sign, or Virgo, Gemini, or Pisces. And the only reason why I say this is because you have Pisces here, which is a mutable sign, and you have the 9th sign of the zodiac is also a mutable sign, and it's Sagittarius. So I feel that for some of you, you are dealing with a Sag, or you were dealing with a Sag, and there was a separation here recently, and I do believe that it probably started before Saturn, which was June 17th. So if your separation happened before June 17th or around that day, I really do feel that you did have 2 of Pentacles here earlier, so I do feel that there was some juggling involved, and I do feel that you got caught up in your feelings, and I do feel that for some of you, when you meet somebody new, you could get caught up in your feelings, and you already see the wedding, the family you're gonna have, and everything, and you ignore some of the red flags that are there because you want what you see in your head to happen. Now, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is known for rose-colored glasses, which, like I said before, if you have your sun sign or any inner planets in the 7th house, I feel that you could wear rose-colored glasses towards relationships, and it's not just romantic relationships, it's friendships and families. And I feel that for some of you, you were wearing rose-colored glasses with this person. They probably had earth in them because Knight of Pentacles is here. So earth is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And I feel that this person was keeping you like in this loop. It was very sexually attractive. Ace of Wands here. But they were also building a wall, and they had you stuck in this place. And the way things ended is because they made... So, for some of you, the way things ended, it wasn't the truth, and they made you feel like if it was all your fault. Like they put all the blame on you. Like, well, you make me feel this way, you make me do this, you make me, you did this, instead of we both did XYZ, I did XYZ, you did XYZ. Because remember, in a relationship, it takes two people to dance. And I don't just mean, like, it takes two people to dance, which means that not just one person messes up usually in a relationship, it's two people that mess up in a relationship, and that's why when it ends, there's no such thing as a perfect person. We all have flaws that we have to work on. We all have to evolve. We all have to grow. And I feel that for some of you, this person was not growing, and they put all of that responsibility on you. And for some small percentage of you, it's crazy, but they even blamed you for not growing. They were trying to say that you're the reason why they can't grow. They were trying to say that they would grow better without you. They needed to leave this situation in order to grow. I just feel that all of that is just BS. And it's like they just didn't want to admit their own negative traits. And they didn't want to admit of they're just... It was just sexually active. And for some small percentage of you, yes, they do love you, but they're just not ready to admit those feelings. And I do feel that they will be coming back. What month is that? September? Yeah, I think that's around the end of September probably. They will be coming back, but if you take them back, I feel you're just gonna go back to this. You really need to make sure that there's some changes, and the reason how you would know if there's some changes is because when they come back, they will apologize for what they did. And it won't be the same apology of when you broke up of, well, you did this and you did this, you made me react this way, you made... No. It's like, hey, I didn't take responsibility for XYZ. I'm sorry. I want to take responsibility for it now, and I want to work on it. That's a true apology. But please remember that change... If they just apologize and there is no change behavior, that's not a true apology. You really need to feel it from your heart. Change the behavior and really mean it. And never do it again. That's a true apology. And I feel that for some of you, you are going to get that true apology. And for some others of you, you're going to get a fake apology. But you're going to think it's a true apology. And it's just going to go back just the same it was. And the reason you would know if this is going to be your story, if it's going to go back to how it was, to that cycle you had before, is because of the way that they apologize. Pay attention to their behavior, not their words. Don't rush back into things. Don't rush back into their privates. Don't... Keep certain type of distance. Keep communication. Talk to them, but keep certain type of distance if they do come back, just to see if they have really changed. Because for some of you, this is a pattern that you've been dealing with them and dealing with past partners for a while. And I feel that this pattern is here because you really need to learn to speak up and stand up for yourself. I feel that for a small percentage of you, you show other people the love that you wish that was shown to you. But then it's like they don't deserve that love. Pisces has such an amazing way of loving. My son is a Pisces. And you guys could love super, super deep. Super, super deep. And not everybody deserves that type of compassion or that type of love or understanding. And I feel that for some of you, your lessons here during your Saturn return is to discern who actually deserves that love and compassion from you. Have a card for King of Wands, please. So we have guilt, and we have turning in. So this guilt card is pretty amazing because if you could see, there's like hands sticking out of her head, out of like the head and stuff. So, and the sky is gray, but there's flowers on top. In tarot, a lot of the times images, they mean something, and we look at the sky to see the thoughts. If there's water, we look at the water to see what it's doing, because that speaks of emotions. So with the thoughts being here, I feel that this talks about what I said earlier of how you're very negative on yourself. And I feel that for some of you, how they broke up with you, or how relationships or friendships or family has talked to you in the past, it really picks at your head, and you really take it out on yourself, and you carry the words that they have told you with you. So they say like, you're too lazy, you're too this, you believe it and you carry it with you. But there are flowers on top, so I do feel that there is some change coming, but the change needs to come because you let go of the past. At the bottom of the deck, we have turning in, and this card has water in it, but if you see, the water is calm. There are people around her in the back, but she's turning into her emotions. And I feel that for some of you, this is where you are, or this is where you want to be. And those of you that are here, I feel that you had to go through a lot of this in order to get here. And I feel that if you are here with your Saturn really, I like to think of it as like the karmic planet, and it's really going to reward you if you have been putting in the work to control your thoughts and to control your emotions. Now, if you haven't been doing the work, you haven't started, you just started, please don't take this as in Saturn's not going to bless you. If you start doing the work, if you start putting your intentions forward, if you start, just start. And there will be, like, it will reward you for that. And I feel like for some of you, this is something that you have been starting for a while, or you've been telling yourself that you've been wanting to start it for a while. I had another card that flipped over. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can I have a card for 5 of... Whoa. Can I have a card for 5 cups? So we have rebirth. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the creator. It's funny because this card is one of the cards that flipped over right before with another card. So with rebirth, I like to think of this as like the tower card. So if you see, there's like a camel down here, and then there's a lion, and there's a person coming out of that. So I feel that they're going through a rebirth, and I feel that this rebirth is speaking about what I was talking about the 5 of cups, and how you just have to turn around to see the cups that aren't falling, and just to change your optimistic look. So I feel like it's going from negative outlook to a positive outlook. And I feel that for some of you, I don't know why I'm saying this, but for some of you, smoking cigarettes is something that's really getting in the way. And what I mean by getting in the way is it's really causing health problems, like the beginning of the health problems, but you don't know if you could stop, or you don't know if you want to stop, because Pisces is also, Neptune is also the ruler of addictions. So some Pisces suns can get very addicted, or if you have a Pisces stellium, Pisces Venus, Pisces Mars, you could get very addicted to substances, cigarettes, weed, alcohol, sex. That could also be an addiction. And I feel that for some of you, you're trying to leave your addictions, but you're focusing on the negative side. And I feel that for some of you, the negative side that you're focusing is the shame that you have for being stuck in this addiction for as long as you were. And for some of you, I do want to say that it is a sex addiction, with Ace of Wands being here. So some of you do feel like embarrassed, ashamed. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to face it. You're pretending that that's not even a part of your life. Some of you even go as far as to lie to the people around you and say that you're not addicted to that anymore, and you pretend that you're not doing it, but you know that you are, and you disassociate with yourself every time you do it, so that way you could lie about it and you just don't remember. And for some of you, that's something that you've been doing, where you disassociate when you do something bad, or you do something you don't want to talk about later, so that way you could say you don't remember. Can I have a card for Knight of Pentacles, please? Whoa. Receptivity, and at the bottom of the deck we have silence. So I feel that there's a lot of growth that's going to be going on here. Especially because next month in October we are going to be having, I believe it's either a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse. I'm not sure, but it's an eclipse that we are going to be having next month and in October. And that lunar eclipse, I believe it starts the end of the month. Let me make sure. I don't want to give you guys false information. But there is going to be either a solar or lunar eclipse next month. It's going to be on the 14th. And it's a partial solar eclipse. So solar eclipses are very special, and they usually do happen around this time around in October, and that's because we're welcoming in fall, which is like a cardinal sign, Libra, which is the new season. So new blessings are going to be coming in your way. So I feel that for some of you, if you start the work now, by that time, there is going to be a huge blessing coming in your way. There's going to be a huge growth coming in your way. I feel like for some of you, that day is going to be very important for you. Something very important is going to happen for you that day on the solar eclipse, the 14th of October. I believe that's a Saturday or a Sunday. But that weekend is going to be very important for you. For some of you, for a very small percentage of you, you might be feeling lonely that weekend. There might be a fight that you go to your partner and you might spend it in silence, reflecting. But please know that with this solar eclipse, when I say that you're going to be spending some moment in time with your partner, there might be like a miscommunication, some fighting going on or something, but don't look at it as in you're going to break up, because if you bring that energy into your life, then you're going to be attracting that to you. But just be open to take this as a message to watch what you say during that weekend, to not jump to conclusions, to not explode with your emotions. For some of you, you're very good at jumping to conclusions, and you're very good from going from A to D without any information in the middle. And it takes over your head, and you could stay there and react from that place without even knowing if it's true. Because for some of you, you feel that you're very intuitive or you're very psychic, but yet when you confront the person with it, they don't tell you the truth, they don't tell you what you want to hear, and you just believe yourself, which I'm not telling you not to believe yourself, but sometimes for some of you, you're giving zero benefit of the doubt to the other person. That's what I mean to say. And you're very stuck on what you believe is real and what you believe to be true. And I feel that for some of you during this Saturn return, your lesson is going to be to give people the benefit of the doubt. Because for some of you, that's something that you haven't done in a very long time. And like the first feeling that you get of a lie, it's like, I'm out. So now I will be doing shadow work questions. Shadow work questions are questions to help you apply the reading into your life. Sometimes I offer exercises. I try to do 3 to 4 questions. I read the question and then I offer my own little intuitive take on it. The first question, before I jump into the questions, I suggest that you journal these questions down. I will be doing shadow work videos once a month. So if you would like, you could start a shadow work journal. You could journal these questions down. Meditate with it. Let the question come to you. Don't force it to come to you, and answer it. And every month you could see your progress. You could see how much you've grown. You could take down notes from the other tarot videos that you see on YouTube. I suggest for everybody to do that, because if you're just watching video after video, and a lot of the times these readers really do tell you things that are like, oh damn, like I need to pay attention to that. It's like, write it down so that way you remember to pay attention to that. Try to only write down the positive things that you want to pay attention to, the things you want to change. Try not to write down the negative things. Try not to write down ammunition that you will use on yourself later to beat yourself up with it. Because a lot of you Pisces, that's exactly what you do. And I feel that that's something that really, that's a cycle that really has to stop, where you're beating yourself up way too much. You don't hype yourself up. You don't think you're the shit. And for some of you, you really are the shit. And it's like, you really do need to think that. First question, what can I do to make a difference? So I feel that, like, this question can be answered with another question. What keeps you up at night? And I feel that that question is important, because what keeps you up at night is something that could really help you make a difference on your day tomorrow. So let's say that what's keeping you up at night is these negative thoughts about yourself. You just have negative thoughts about what people said. You keep replaying the same situation, the same argument over and over in your head. That's something that's keeping you up at night. So how can you make a difference with that? You can make a difference with that by not having the conversation with your head. So I heard a pastor say, she was talking about how when a negative thought comes up in your head, don't pull up a chair and have a conversation with it in your head. Let it know that you're not going to entertain this thought, that this thought is not going to stop you, that it's not going to take away your joy, it's not going to take away your happiness. And I feel that that's something very important that we all have to practice, of not pulling up a chair and having a conversation with our negative thoughts, especially if that is something that we usually do, or we usually come from a negative place. And I feel that for some of you, that's what you're doing. Like, as soon as you have a negative thought, it's like you're arguing with it in your head, or you're trying to convince yourself of it, of something else. And something that could really, really help of not pulling up that chair is replacing that thought with a gratitude thought. And it doesn't have to be something big that you're grateful for. You could say, like, I'm grateful I saw a candle that was lit today. I'm grateful I saw plants today. I'm grateful I saw light today. It could be the smallest thing that you're grateful for. But just replace that negative thought with gratitude. Try to do that for 1 week, or just even for a day, and see what changes that brings into your life, into your energy. Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? Like I said, for some of you, I feel that you're very stuck in the negativity, and it's from shame because of the addictions that you have. And I'm not telling you to let go of those addictions. For those that have like substance addictions, sexual addictions, those are addictions that are going to take time to let go, to actually change. And they're going to take a lot of effort and work on your part and from the people around you. And you're going to need a support system, even if the support system is just yourself in the universe. You're still going to need to support yourself. And I feel that for some of you, just admitting that you have that shame, writing it down, letting it out of you, is something that could really help you here. Because for some of you, you keep getting high, or you keep drinking, or you keep going through your sexual addictions to avoid that shame. And I feel that if you write it out just to yourself, just write it out, let go of that shame, just see it out in writing. Sometimes we could analyze it and just see, like, oh wow, this shame's not even mine. Like, sometimes as children, your parents could tell you, like, hey, you're talking too much, or you're annoying. They probably had a bad day at work and they're taking it out on you, which is not okay. But by writing down traumatic experiences and seeing where they come from, we could actually see that sometimes it wasn't our fault, and it was given to us by somebody that didn't know how to handle it. I'm not saying this so you could go put blame on your parents. I'm not saying this so you can hold anger against them. For some of you, your parents were doing a cycle, and they were doing what they were taught to do. For some of you, your parents tried to break that cycle, and they did the best that they could, and they still came up short. Some of our parents really did try their best, but they just did their best with what they had. They didn't know any better. And I feel that for some of you, you're doing your best with what you have, and you don't know any better, and you're really taking that out on yourself. and you're carrying that shame around with you, and it's not helping you grow or progress into a better you, into your higher self. And these opportunities that are coming into your life are going to be, you're going to react to them from a place of trauma and from a place from the past, and they're not going to stay here. What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? I feel that for some of you, like I said, I know I talked a lot about this in this video, but just looking at the positive side is something that could really help you. And I don't mean to get stuck there. For some of you, you're truly stuck there where all you see is the positive side, and it's like, no, you really need to see the red flags with this person. Not so you could go like reclamarles or tell them something about it, but just so you could be aware that they're there. I saw this video earlier on Facebook, and it was talking about how if people want to leave, let them. If people want to do XYZ, let them. Some of you have to learn the boundary of just letting people be them. And sometimes that means that you have to exclude your energy because you don't want to be associated with them. And that's okay, but you need to put that boundary down. And for some of you, you're not putting that boundary down in your relationships. And that's why the cycle keeps repeating. Because instead of just letting them walk away and letting them stay over there, you're letting them walk away and you're letting them come back whenever they want. And you're opening the door for them and you're treating them like if nothing happened. For a small percentage of you, you're treating them like if nothing went wrong, like if they didn't just disrespect your boundaries, like if they didn't just lie to you and betray you. And I'm not saying to hold on to that anger and to hold on to that resentment. No. Yes, let the resentment go and forgive them, but just because you forgive them does not mean that you need to accept them back into your life. It does not mean that you need to accept that disrespect from them over and over and over again. You could forgive someone and have them out of your life. And I feel that for some of you, that's a huge boundary that you really need to work on, especially if you're a mutable sign. Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. I feel that that's a huge lesson of establishing those boundaries. I really hope that this reading resonated with you. Please let me know in the comment